Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Denanu, aka the man with the most, biggest, and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And we got ourselves a new Venom trailer. And I'm not going to be overly positive about it. So if that's the kind of opinion you're looking for, it's not mine. I'm a huge Venom fan. Let me actually talk like I can actually speak here. I've been a fan since his inception. I grew up reading all of the old school Venom comics. I grew up reading Lethal Protector, damn near every Spider-Man comic he was in, because Spider-Man was my favorite character coming up, and Venom was probably my second favorite character in comics at the time. So I read pretty much his entire run. I think when I stopped getting out of Venom was probably when they made Flash Thompson Venom, and then he jumped to the Scorpion at one point. That's when I started to fall off of it, but I read all of the Flash Thompson run. I even read the in-between stuff, in between the Flash Thompson stuff, and then you had the New Guys Venom that only lasted for a couple months, and then they gave it back to Eddie Brock. So I'm a fan of the character. I've read damn near everything about the character. And just to let you know where I'm coming from with this, when they announced this movie, I kind of already knew what they were planning to do. I mean, they're trying to get another franchise off the ground without Spider-Man. And I get it. I honestly do. As a company, they're trying to make money. They're trying to come out there and do their own thing. I think they're fucking up, but they're trying. They're trying to get their own thing going. I get that. Because anything they do with Spider-Man is kind of tied in with Marvel. And until whatever deal that they made elapses, they can't do anything with Spider-Man without Marvel's approval, because then it ties into the MCU. So they're trying their hand at Venom, which I think is a mistake. Because Venom his whole character is tied in with Spider-Man. It's like Lex Luthor and Superman, or Kryptonite and Superman. You can't have one without the other. It is what it is. And they're trying. They're really trying. I will say this. Outside of this trailer, the only thing I'm liking so far is, as you guys can see on screen, he looks the part. Granted, don't have the spider on his chest. I can understand why. So they gave him white veins on his body. That I really don't have no problem with. He looks the part. He looks, he looks a hell of a lot better than I thought he would, to be honest. But where I think they messed it up is the character. The character's not there. Venom was a character where you had the alien costume, and you had Eddie Brock kind of form this perfect union to hate Spider-Man, eat brains, and to eat his spleen. That's what they wanted to do. That was the character. The character I'm seeing in this, I think Venom is okay. The symbiote, or symbiote, however you want to say it. I think that's fine. The voice is kind of weird, but it sounds like Tom Hardy. Maybe they just kind of, did it like they did when he did Bane, where they just modulated his voice a little bit. But I think the voice sounds okay. It's not what I would first imagine Venom to sound like, but that's subjective. That's going to be different for anybody who hears him talk. But it's not bad. It's dark. It's menacing. I'm just glad they didn't make him a laughing goofball like the 90s cartoon show did. But Eddie Brock is all wrong. When I see him, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a reporter and I found something that's bad. You sound meek. You sound weak as shit. That's not Eddie Brock. He sounds like a fake ass Bruce Banner. And that's the whole vibe I'm getting out of this trailer. Excuse me for getting emotional, but like I said, Venom is one of my favorite characters in Marvel comic books, and I think it's they're doing a lot of things that's good, the way he looks, the way that the eyes move whenever they do the close-up on his face. That's fine, loving that. But it's not Venom. Eddie Brock is not fucking Bruce Banner. He shouldn't be afraid to pull out that suit. He's not like the Incredible Hulk where it's just like, don't make me angry. I don't want to be evil. I don't want to be bad. And like Venom comes out and then he's bad. No, that's not fucking Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock was this big, buff, 350-pound dude, all muscle, swole, with his swole and his whiteness, looking like a big, buff, white Aryan dude, ready to fuck shit up. That's the kind of character he should be. I mean, granted, I know it's its own universe and everything, but they're making Eddie Brock out to be a pussy. And I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe they feel like this, I have this darkness and I'm afraid to let it out type thing. Maybe they're trying to make that into a thing, but they don't have to make it a thing. Just make the damn character in the movie. Granted, I mean, I would want them to throw Spider-Man in it, or at least tie it to it, a hint to it, or some damn thing. I'm hoping they have that when the movie comes out, but I doubt it, because they're trying to distance themselves from the MCU and Marvel, and I just don't think it's gonna work. Especially with Venom. I mean, hell, I would have chose any other bad guy over fucking Venom. To be honest, hell, they could have made a Miles Morales movie. Let's say you have Miles off doing Sony Spider-Man movies and you have Peter Parker out there with the MCU. I'd have did that. Or hell, make a Silk movie. A new Spider-Man type chick out there that has all the same fucking powers. Do her. Or hell, do Spider-Man 2099. Do a whole futuristic Batman Beyond type thing. Like the Batman Beyond, cartoon did. There's a whole lot they can do to, sell these franchises if you want to have your own thing. Marvel ain't doing shit with the 2099 universe. Make a badass futuristic sci-fi movie with this futuristic Spider-Man. And guess what? You can also have fucking Venom, because you can bring in all of the Spider-Man 2099 characters. Like you had Venom, Punisher, Ghost Rider. I mean, granted, those aren't Spider-Man people, but like every variation or most all the common popular ones, characters in Marvel comic books, they had their 2099 character. Venom was one of those. Do that. And then you can jump into whenever Marvel or whatever storyline you want to tell with Sony, you can have this backstory, and then you could do Venom and be like, oh yeah, back in the day, I first came from this guy Spider-Man. That's where he gets his powers from and all of that. Because without having Spider-Man be like the first host, Venom technically doesn't have any superpowers. I mean, maybe casual people don't know that, and they just think Venom has all of these badass abilities, but no, his only power is shapeshifting. He can shapeshift, and he can, I guess that's a part of shapeshifting, but he can like make himself be invisible. That was it. Super healing and stuff like that for Eddie Brock. That's it. His web slinging, super strength, speed, agility, his spider sense, guess where all of that shit came from? Friendly neighborhood webhead. So if you take him out of that equation, unless you just say, alien costumes, now they're just super strong. Okay, I get that. But you can't show Venom web slinging nowhere. You can't have the spider emblem on his chest. You can't have half of his character of wanting to kill Spider-Man, because that was big. That was like part of his character. It's like DC fucking up Superman and making Superman like Batman. It's like that. I see that in the same regard. Like, if you're gonna make a Venom movie, make a Venom movie. Granted, this I probably wouldn't have a problem with if, let's say, they shook hands with Marvel and they was like, okay, look, we want to have Venom be a thing, but we know you got Tom Holland, you have Spider-Man. That's fine. What they could have did was let's say, make a Venom series, right? Have him with the spider, mention Peter Parker and mention Spider-Man and how much he hate him, and then let's say like 5 or 6 years down the road or 10 years down the road, give us that movie. Shake hands, make deals or whatever, and then have like Spider-Man get the suit, have it go to Eddie Brock, and then kind of fill in that backstory later, but don't give it to us now. Or hell, give it to us in like a future Venom movie. Let's say Venom 2 or Venom 3, show a flashback of like how Spider-Man got the suit and got rid of it. It don't have to be much. You don't have to spend a whole movie doing that. You can just have a flashback of showing Spider-Man getting it, having him trip out, and let's say getting rid of it, and then have Eddie Brock. You have to have that kind of dynamic, him hating Spider-Man too. But they can somehow make it work. I'm a comic book lover. I'm not a movie writer. You can make it work, YouTube. That's what I'm saying. But it's like they're not even trying. And it's like they're just going with their whole thing. They're just jumping in with the whole Life Foundation thing, because that's pretty much what they're doing. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're trying to do Lethal Protector." No, it's like a tiny bit of Lethal Protector, and then is the whole Life Foundation thing, and they're doing the whole. I'm guessing they're doing the whole Venom thing in there too. Because why introduce his ex-wife? Because that's the only thing she's been in. That's to my knowledge. So they're gonna tie that in there. Why, I don't have no idea. They're supposed to have Carnage in the movie somewhere. I'm guessing they're gonna hint to him for a sequel. Maybe that's the guy you're seeing on screen right now, because he looks like he kind of has red hair. But I'm guessing it's gonna be Woody Harrelson. But I don't know. I want to like this movie, I really do. But it's like I'm seeing all of the shit I don't like. Like him attacking people and be like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, why am I doing this? Don't do, like, no, that's not fucking Eddie Brock. I understand, like I said, he's not the Incredible Hulk. He's not like a weak-willed, meek scientist who don't know how to fight. Like, this is like, I don't know. I'm rambling on at this point, but it's not the character. That's what I'm trying to say. Outside of that, I like the way he looks. He looks the part. Unlike Topher Grace and that shitty version they had in Spider-Man 3. The suit's abilities, how he shapeshift, that looks pretty cool too. It's I just don't know. It's some of the other CG that I have issues with. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with the other costumes like Riot and the rest of them. I know Riot's going to be the big bad, but there was like, at least in the comic books, there was like 5 of them. I don't know if they're gonna have all 5 of them in this. There was like Riot, Phage, then there was the chick that was yellow. I don't know if they're gonna, throw her in the movie. She will be cool to see visually, only because Riot and Venom. Even I remember when I was reading the comic book way back in the day, Riot and Venom are too similar. Like Venom is like black in the comics. He's either black or dark blue, kind of like Batman's cape. And Riot in the comic books was like black and gray. So and he didn't have anything that made him stand out visually, because in the comic books, how they differentiated the alien costumes was that they all had something different. Like Eddie Brock in Venom, he can't shapeshift and make knives, spikes, stabbing weapons, things like that, like Carnage can. That was Carnage's whole thing. He can make shapeshift and make blunt objects like a hammer or something like that, or shapeshift into tentacles, that kind of sort of thing. That was always his thing. The other alien costumes, they got different variations or one-off abilities. Like one of them can make stabbing weapons, one of them can make tendrils, one of them can do something else. But it was really, they weren't, if I remember right, they weren't as strong as Venom and, let's say, Carnage, because they were created artificially. I think they were a little bit weaker, but don't quote me on that. I think they were a little bit weaker, but they were still deadly. That's why they were like a team. They were a team of people that, willingly subjected themselves to that, or the Life Foundation subjected them to it. I forget. They weren't like innocent bystanders, because they were working with the Life Foundation, if I remember right. So I don't know how they're gonna show them out in the movies. I mean, if you just have him fighting Riot, it's going to be hard to distinguish between and what's going on. Like the last scene, the one scene in this trailer where you had like Riot clashing with Venom and things like that, it's kind of hard to make out what the hell's going on. It's like, it looks like an old school kung fu moment of like somebody posing doing a kung fu thing and having a camera spin, but like it's just a black mass and black goo. You can't tell what's going on, and that's what I don't want. They should have made the bad guy somebody else. I mean, I don't want to see it be Carnage, because that's way too soon. Carnage, you have to build up to that. Like you have to, I mean, you have to come out. I mean, I would want them to do the whole Maximum Carnage thing, right? But I know they ain't gonna do that. But I would want him team up with Spider-Man to fight Carnage, because Carnage can mop the floor with Venom. That's how strong he was. He was stronger than Spider-Man and Venom put together. So that's why they had to team up. Like I think when Venom actually fought him for the first time, Carnage whooped that ass. And he had to go crawling back to Spider-Man talking about, oh, we need your help. So I don't, I just have a feeling they're just gonna make him the bad guy part 2 and just have Venom whoop his ass and have him, have that be that, and that's what I don't want to see. Maybe they're gonna do something different. I don't know. I don't even think it all depends on how this movie goes. I'm pretty sure if this movie makes like no money, they ain't making a part 2. So I just want them to tie it into Spider-Man some kind of way, because like I said, Venom is such a big thing, at least with me, and I guess millions of other people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be making a movie out of him. But he's a hugely popular character. That's like taking Spider-Man and be like, oh, you know what? He doesn't have spider powers no more. It's like, no, you don't do that. And Venom hating Spider-Man and being attached to Spider-Man's story in the way he was, that's half the story right there. So it's like, you're taking away half of the character, and then you're bringing us this meek, infected, mumbling bastard. I mean, don't get me wrong, and it's Tom Hardy. It's like, that's the part that kills me. It's like, I know he's good at like movies and roles and stuff. He can kill it when he wants to. So it's like, why you got him acting like this? like maybe he thought this was cool and somebody was like, no man, like that's not how the character is. Be buff and be angry. That's all you got to do. Or maybe they told him to act this way, that way it can fit into some kind of character arc that they're gonna give him throughout the movie. Like maybe he's not confident, he's meek, and he's talks softly, but being Venom gives him the confidence to be like, brings out that other side of him to be confident. Maybe they're trying to do that as character arc. Who the fuck knows? But it just looks stupid to me. He looks like a bumbling idiot, and then he gets the Venom, the Venom costume. That another thing that bugs me, this looks just like fucking Upgrade. Like, if you showed this trailer and then showed somebody Upgrade, I'm not saying everything looks the same, but it's too similar. Like, Tom Hardy plays in this, the guy who's in Upgrade looks like Tom Hardy. They both have a voice inside their head talking to them, and controlling their bodies, doing things they don't want. They both have, I had another one there, but then I lost it in a second. Give me a sec. They both have a kitchen scene or like a fight in an apartment, So it's extremely similar movie, type of thing. And I said that even when Upgrade came out. I was like, it looks so similar to Upgrade that people are probably gonna watch Venom and then see Upgrade and be like, oh, Venom is just copying this other movie that came out 3 months ago. That's how similar it is. The only difference is Upgrade doesn't have a full body monster he turns into, whereas Venom does. But something else that bugs me about Venom is you're gonna have him be, I'm assuming they're gonna, because what I keep hearing is they're doing the whole lethal protector thing. I don't see none of that in this movie, but if you're gonna be an anti-hero for what? This movie isn't attached to Spider-Man, it's not attached to the MCU, so who's he gonna be fighting? Carnage? Other alien costumes? Like there's no supervillains in this universe. You see what I'm saying? There's no, who's he gonna fight? Outside of Carnage and maybe Riot or one of the other alien costumes if they don't kill him. Who's he gonna fight? What I'm hoping, and I don't see how they can make this happen without fucking shit up even more. But I want to see, my comic book side wants this movie to succeed. Because I'm a fan of the medium, I love the character, I want to see it grow. But at the same time, they fucking up. So my practical and logical side is like, I want this movie to fail because I don't want them to make bullshit. See what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna do it right. But what I'm honestly hoping for out of this movie is I'm hoping it makes some kind of money. I know it's not gonna make. It ain't gonna pull no Black Panther numbers. I can tell you that. It ain't gonna pull no MCU numbers. I can tell you that too. It's probably gonna make a few $100 million. And I'm hoping that at least it makes enough money to have it a strong footing. And then maybe Sony gonna be like, all right, well, we gotta tie the MCU in this some kind of way. So maybe bring in Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I don't know how they would do that and have him then build that hatred of Spider-Man at that point. They would have to write in a reason for them to meet up with each other and all of that, and go with that. Maybe let's say Venom could come to New York, somehow get involved with something that Spider-Man is doing, and let's say, I don't know why it would leave Eddie Brock, but because in the comic books it kind of left other people. Maybe it leaves Eddie Brock, right? Kind of like how the Venom costume did with Scorpion and the one mob guy, where it jumped off him as he was jumping in between buildings and he fell to his death. Maybe they could do something like that. Maybe it leaves Eddie Brock thinking that, maybe him and the costume have a disagreement or something, and maybe he splits off like, oh, I can bond with somebody else, and gets with Spider-Man that way. Or let's say maybe he gets hurt and the costume is like, I don't feel like healing you or whatever. Maybe he thinks Eddie Brock is dead, but he's not. He leaves, bonds the Spider-Man. Then they go through that whole Spider-Man realizes it's alive, gets rid of it, and then realizes, you can say the costume realizes it has the perfect bond. Let's say his Evangelion sync rating was at 100%, and then for some reason Spider-Man gets rid of him, so the costume hates Spider-Man. And let's say for whatever reason Venom to be with in New York and to fight Spider-Man or whatever, give Eddie Brock a reason to hate him too. Maybe people see him as a bad guy versus an anti-hero, and he blames Spider-Man for that or something. And then have it go back to Eddie Brock, and then you can get the spider on the chest. What I'm hoping is, at the end of the day, without explaining, I'm hoping they somehow bring Venom into what they already got established. And then we can have the Venom that we all know and love and want on big screen. Because sadly, it's not this. And I don't know why they didn't just shake hands with Marvel and just be like, look, just put him in the MCU. Fuck it, why not? You can just say he's in there, give him a spider on his chest, say that the Venom movies take place like 10 years in present time. Just say fuck it. And then, that way you don't gotta explain Venom not getting the costume or Spider-Man getting the costume. Let's just say this takes place after he already got it. Do a movie like that. I think that would work out better. And kind of working with Marvel so that their ongoing stories, if they want to do something with Venom, they can fit it in their timeline, right? Things like that. Just make it work. I don't see why they didn't just do it that way, to be honest. I really don't. It's like they're trying to do a new origin story, but it's kind of fucked up, because no matter what origin you go with, you still got to include Spider-Man in there. That's like the biggest hurdle that they just said fuck you to. But even in the Ultimate Universe of comic books, there's no line or story where Venom didn't get with Spider-Man first. Usually it's always like, what if Spider-Man kept the suit? Things like that. Like I said before, I understand them trying to do their own thing. I get that. I just think that they're going in the wrong direction. Not with Venom. Venom is not the movie you want to start that with. Granted, it damn sure ain't Silver and Black either, but at least they're not directly tied to Spider-Man. That's like saying, oh yeah, we're gonna give Aunt May a solo movie. Oh wait, they said they were gonna do that too back in the day. Well shit, well fuck. Well, that's like them saying, that, but like you're not gonna have Uncle Ben be in there, or you're gonna have Peter Parker in there and not have Uncle Ben give his great power, great responsibility speech. It's like something you just don't do, but anyways, I'm just rambling on at this point. But I do like some of the CG. I like the fact that like the scene there that they just showed where the costume putting his limbs and stuff back together, thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, this trailer, or this movie rather I should say, it has a couple things I like and then a lot I don't like. Like him licking the guy's face right there, I thought that was pretty cool, because Venom always did that to the people. I'm hoping they get into the whole eat your brains thing, because that's something I think Venom has a part of his character too. He got into eating brains at one point because the costume needed something that grew in the brain that he needed to survive, and he always wanted to eat Spider-Man's spleen. So I'm hoping that kind of turns up too whenever he crosses Spider-Man or whatever. I know a lot of people are jumping on that one line in the trailer, like a turd in the wind. I thought that was incredibly stupid, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna harp on it too much. I mean, you can always blame it for like maybe the alien costume just got here. He don't know English language all that well, so it is what it is. But my name is the Nanu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.